Shohei Ohtani looked terrific in his third start of the season, but the Dodgers offense couldn't get anything going against Seth Lugo. It was too little, too late in this one. So the Dodgers have punted this game. We'll talk about that next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show and Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium. Dodgers win!
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam! It's a double for Freddie.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose to the Royals. They fall by a final score of 9-5. It got very interesting there in that ninth inning. The Dodgers entered that ninth inning. It looked like it was going to be a laugher, a score where you had a position player pitching with Miguel Rojas, giving up no runs in his inning in the eighth. And in that ninth inning, the Dodgers, they got things going. Kim singled. A couple batters later, Edman doubled. A couple batters after that, Freeman walked. And then with 2 outs, Muncy singled to make it a 9-2 game. Kike singled. That scored Edman and Freeman to make it a 9-4 game. And then Pages singled to score Muncy to make it a 9-5 game. And then with the tying run on deck, Michael Conforto, he steps up to the plate and he grounds to third to end the inning. With the Dodgers, they just couldn't get anything going today offensively. They end up going 10th before then against Seth Lugo. That was really the big issue there. Seth Lugo, he gets the win for the Royals, went 5 2/3 innings, gave up no runs on 4 hits. But the big issue with the Dodgers was they were getting on base. He had 5 walks in this one. 5 walks for Seth Lugo, but the Dodgers, they just could not capitalize in this one. They went 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They just couldn't get that timely hit when they needed to. The Dodgers offense just could not muster it up. I mean, Seth Lugo, give him credit. He was on today for the most part, and the best thing for him was he was able to retire those hitters early in the innings. He retired the first 2 batters in 4 of the first 5 innings. The Dodgers were able to put runners on in each of those innings and in the 6th as well, and they were able to get those 5 walks and get 4 singles, but they just could not get any runs across. Dalton Rushing had 3 opportunities to get the big hit. He struck out each of those opportunities, but it wasn't just Dalton Rushing. The Dodgers had a really tough time with that. I mean, he had 8 strikeouts in that. The Royals combined to have 12 strikeouts. So 8 strikeouts for Lugo in this outing, 12 total in the game. The Dodgers they had their opportunities. I mean, you can just count them throughout this one. Even at top of the first inning, Freddie Freeman gets a single with 1 out. Max Muncy, he walks. Then Teo struck out looking. Top of the 2nd inning after a Kim walk. Then he stole second. Rushing struck out swinging. Cutter top of the zone. So there was a lot of opportunities he just could not cash in on. Dodgers offense just did not do enough. But on a positive note, Freddie Freeman did come through today. It was his first home run since May 11th on Mother's Day. And the big Michelada half fulls take today. The big Michelada half full take today is one Freddie Freeman. We'll get the other big one in a second here, but also Freddie Freeman going 3 for 3 in this one. Homers, has 2 walks. This is the best Freddie's looked like in a long time. The best Freddie's looked like in weeks, and he was able to get that bat on the ball. He had better rhythm today. You saw that ball getting deeper in the zone, and it just kind of looked like the Freddie of old. I mean, Freddie Freeman was back today, and at the top of the 7th, he was able to get that solo shot off of Lynch. A really nice job going down and getting that sinker down and in. But really nice to see Freddie Freeman get it going. But outside of that, you're down 9-1 in this one. You don't love that. But the big story today was the big show. And I know we'll talk about punting games and you're down by 8. And look, the truth is it's incredibly improbable to erase an 8-run deficit. It almost never happens. It's extremely unlikely. Let's not forget the Dodgers are still without most of their starting rotation. Glasnow, Snell, Roki Sasaki. Guys are out, and then you have a heavily taxed bullpen that leads all of Major League Baseball in innings pitched. So, yes, I'll get to that, and I'll get all your thoughts on that one, all your comments, all your takes on how this game was managed. But even though this was a loss, it feels like another win for Shohei Ohtani. And offensively, it wasn't a good day for Sho. He went 0 for 4, had 3 strikeouts, and the thing that kind of stands out with me is he struck out to start the game, just like he has in his first at-bats from the other 2 games where he started at the plate and started on the mound. So we've seen not great at-bats from Shohei when he's pitching and when he's hitting, and it makes you wonder, do you continue the conversation about possibly moving him off of leadoff? Because that is definitely something that you want to kind of think about moving forward, because you got those couple strikeouts, and if you just look out the entire 3 games, it's a very small sample size, but in these 3 games, you've seen strikeouts in those situations. And on Saturday, this is the first time that he was starting on the road, so he didn't bat the leadoff. We didn't go start the game on the mound and then lead off on the bottom of the inning. He led off the game and then came in to pitch in the bottom half of that inning directly. So it wasn't the bang bang that we've seen, but this time it was in the 3rd inning after pitching a scoreless 2nd inning. He came out and he struck out against Seth Lugo, just like he did in the bottom of the 1st inning in those 2 starts at home. So what we're seeing here is when Shohei pitches, the small sample that we have right now is he strikes out at a high clip every situation he's got into. But I will say, before you totally freak out, in the other 2 games, in the other opportunities, he did have a couple multi-hit games. He also had a home run, a triple, a double, a single, and 2 walks and 7 RBI. So today was the one game which just did not happen for him today. Wasn't able to have that same level of success in Kansas City. Went hitless in 4 at-bats, 3 strikeouts, snapped a 5-game hitting streak. The Dodgers snapped a 5-game winning streak. But now let's get to the big story. The big story was how good Shohei Ohtani looked on the mound. It was his 3rd start since coming back from that 2nd Tommy John surgery. He had a 1st inning where he goes out there and just right off the bat, he looks so much better. He looks so much better. The command, he got India to fly out for the 1st out, and then Bobby Witt Jr., he gets that sweeper on the corner, and he's singled to left. And got to give him credit. It's Bobby Witt Jr., really nice piece of hitting. Then he walked Garcia on 5 pitches, but the life was there. The electricity on the pitches was there. And then by the time he got to Pasquantino, the 4th batter that he faced, he gets into a 0-2 count against Pasquantino, and he throws a 101.7 mile per hour 4-seam fastball on the outer half to get Pasquantino to ground into an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. It was incredible to see a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning.
On the ground to second. Kim has 1, and there is 2. Taylor.
So you saw right there, when he's going up against a left-handed batter like that, he has a little more success glove side, because that left-handed batter, you just can't pitch him too inside, and you're able to hit your spot. So he goes 101.7. That was the fastest pitch of his career. The fastest pitch of his career was today. Did they replace that arm with a bionic arm? Because we are seeing a higher velocity version of Shohei Ohtani. He was already a guy that threw hard, but today at 101.7 miles per hour is the fastest pitch he's ever thrown in his career. it surpassed the 101.4 mile per hour heater that he threw against the Astros back on September 4, 2022. So the second fastest before this, I mean, now he surpassed that WBC pitch. I mean, he threw a 101.6 mile per hour fastball back in the 2023 WBC. So the velocity was good. And then the second inning, he was a little better with the command overall. He came out, he retired the side in order. We saw soft contact and we saw efficiency. So it was a really impressive start by Shohei Ohtani. I think that you got to work out some of the stuff as far as does this impact his batting? Because when he was with the Angels, 73 starts, only 4 of those times was he batting leadoff. The majority of the time that Shohei Ohtani was pitching in Anaheim, he was batting in the 2-hole. So this is a relatively unfamiliar new experience for him, and I do think that does make sense maybe to shake some things up. Who knows? Freddie's hitting again. Do you bat Freddie lead off? I know it sounds insane, but if you want to stagger that lineup, you go Freddie, you could go Mookie and Shohei, or you do the natural thing and you put Mookie, Shohei, Freddie, or could you have Andy Pages or Tommy Edman as a leadoff? Those are guys that can put their bat on the ball at a higher clip, and they have speed. So there's options. Has Sung Kim, who knows? There's a possibility. So I do think they have options. I think that's something you're going to explore. But still, bottom of the second, he looked really good. His only strikeout of the afternoon, he struck out Caglione with a slider down away. But the velocity is so crisp. The secondary stuff is getting better. And I think that the only thing that you can take away from this is Shohei Ohtani looks excellent. He has the potential to be an absolute ace. That's how good he has pitched since returning. And here was Shohei Ohtani just minutes ago from Kansas City talking about his outing. And he also answers the question, will he participate in the home run derby? Well, here's the big show.
Shohei, were you happy with the command in the 2 innings today?
今日のコントロール振り返ってみて満足してますか？そうですね。細かいところは別として、積極的にゾーンをこう攻めれたというのは良かったかなと思います。Overall, happy with the fact that I was able to attack the zone. There's some little things that I still need to work on, but overall, pretty happy.
You've done this your whole career, but you haven't done it in a while. Are you adjusting to going back to being the two-way player still?
久しぶりにこういう二刀流のルーティンになりましたけども、少し慣れるのに時間かかりそうですかね。そうですかね。今日はノーヒットでしたけど、単純に打撃のアプローチとしてはそこまでこうなんですかね、いい結果を生むアプローチではなかったのかなっていうところなので、バッティングとピッチングそれぞれ同じ日にやりますけど基本的には分けて考えるので、ピッチングは良くてバッティングは良くなかったなっていう一日だったなと思います。Just looking back today on the pitching side, did pretty well. Didn't give up any hits, at least in my mind. And on the hitting side, didn't really have a good approach. So in terms of days when I do pitch and hit, I do think of it, compartmentalize it, and so that's how I approach the days I pitch.
As you were going through the rehab process, did you imagine coming back and throwing 102 miles an hour?
マイル投げれるっていうのは、リハビリの過程の中で想像していましたか？そうですか。ライブ BP で多分投げ続けたら投げてはなかったのかなとは思うので、そういう意味ではやっぱりこう実戦で、早めに短いイニングでしか投げることによってそういう球速帯に慣れていくっていうのはいいことじゃないかなと思うので、そこも今日一つ良かったところかなとは思ってます。It's something I don't think I would have been able to do in a live BP setting, so it's nice to be able to hit this velo and see how my body reacts.
There haven't been a ton of guys that go through 2 major elbow surgeries and come back with the same stuff. I mean, was that ever a worry for you, and how encouraging has it been to see all your stuff kind of playing at the level it has these last couple outings?
2度の肘の手術でまた戻ってくる中で少しこの球の投げてる球っていうのが戻ってくるっていう心配っていうのはありましたか？1回目よりやっぱり感覚は術後からすごい良かったので、術式も多少違いますし、そういう意味では1回目よりもだいぶ良かったので、 ドクターとの話の中でも戻る確率はやっぱり高いっていう話ではあったので自信はありましたけど、球速帯だけではなくて投げ方も含めて、まだまだちょっと改善の余地はあるとは思うのでこれからかなと思ってます。
Yeah, I felt pretty good about being able to come back and to pitch well, especially considering when I first had the surgery, the second time through, it was a lot better in terms of recovery than the first time through. And just talking to the doctor, he was very confident that I was able to come back in full form. I do still feel like I have to work on little things in terms of the pitching side mechanically. So, in terms of that, it's still a work in progress.
Your second at bat, you have to get off the mound. You're done pitching. You had to rush to the batter's box to hit. Were you really ready to hit in your second at bat?
2打席目慌ただそうでしたけども、しっかり万全の準備ができていたのかと。
そうです。そこまでピッチングをやってるからと、さっきも言いましたけど、基本的には分けて考えるので、結果は悪かったですけど、基本的には DH でなんていうんですかね、一回一回代打みたいに出るよりは、マウンドからそのままの流れでいった方が自分の中ではナチュラルな感じはするかなと思ってます。
The result wasn't good, but I do feel like it's more natural for me to, get off the bump and go straight to hitting, rather than being a full-time DH guy where I'm just really waiting for the next at bat to come. So, yeah.
Do you have any interest in doing the home run derby?
ホームランダービーに興味ありますか？
どうですかね。現行のルールだとなかなか厳しいので、そうですね。今のところチャンスはないかなと思ってます。
With the current rules in place, I don't think it's feasible for me to be able to compete well.
Teo's out. Thank you.
So there you go, Shohei Ohtani. The man is one of one. How many people in the history of this planet can throw 102 in a game, can hit 50-plus home runs, can steal 59 bases? The guy is just absolutely ridiculous. And look, if there's any way to have a good loss, you could look at it as a good loss in the sense that there were positives, right? Shohei Ohtani, the command's getting better, the fact that this is essentially still spring training for him, and he's doing it at the big league level, and he's giving the Dodgers innings, and hopefully we see 3 innings the next time he gives it another go. So feel good about that from that standpoint. Freddie Freeman having a good day at the plate, hitting a home run for the first time since May 11th. Max Muncy continues to hit. He's on an absolute tear. Haesung Kim got 2 hits, went 2 for 3, had a walk. I mean, he deserves to play. I know Conforto had some good days, but still, I think Kim just is proving that he deserves to play. So I am going to be very annoyed if I see tomorrow he's El Bencho. Give Kim some extended run. But then I want to talk about something that we talked about yesterday, a change that the Dodgers need to make, a change that the Dodgers need to absolutely do before it leads to more runs, and that is Teoscar Hernandez in right field. You saw yesterday not getting to balls, letting balls drop in front of him, making bad reads, letting balls get over his head. We saw that lead to multiple runs yesterday. Well, it reared its ugly head early on in this one. Ben Kasparius, he came in to follow up Shohei Ohtani, and there was some talk that Ben has been dealing with an illness, and he went back to the team hotel, but he still was good enough to give it a go. So he was under the weather. Make no mistake about it. He was not at 100%, but he goes out there, gives a couple. He gives up a couple 2-out hits in the 3rd inning, and there's a fly ball by Bobby Witt Jr. that drops right in front of Teoscar Hernandez. This is the 3rd time we've seen this series where a ball just drops right in front of Teoscar Hernandez. And whether that's just not making the read off the bat right and charging that ball or laying out to die for that ball, it is not a play that you would see if Andy Pages was out there. And it's certainly not a play you would see if Mookie Betts was out there. I think the thing with the Dodgers right now is they're saying, okay, we'll live with Teo's below average defense where he's graded out as one of the least productive right fielders in the sport. I mean, that's not a take. That's just what the numbers will tell you. if he can hit at an elite level. Right now, he's not hitting at an elite level, right? If he can hit at a top level, just mash lefties, clutch with runners in scoring position, things like that. So it's tough to justify the bad defense when the offense is not incredible, right? He dealt with the groin injury, the adductor, and then when he came back, had his downs, then he started to get it going. But look, I mean, he's still an above-average hitter. There's no doubt about that. But it's magnified if the defense is so subpar the way we saw. And then the very next batter, Garcia, he doubled to center. That scored India and Witt, and that made it a 2-0 game. So these are critical errors, and they're not essentially errors as far as they don't show up in the box score for the most part, right? But they are errors in the sense that there are plays that outfielders will see and say that they should be made. So it definitely is a concern. It's definitely a concern, and I mean, the Dodgers did have an error in this one by Pages, too. The defense was not crisp. I mean, the bottom of the fifth inning, it was another bad inning for the Dodgers where the outfielder that's been playing above average defense this year didn't make the play he needed to make. He gives up 3 singles in that inning, does Ben Kasperius. In that first one, it was kicked by Andy Paz in center field that led to extra bases. And then what happens later in that inning after the India single scored Isbell to make it a 3-0 game. A couple batters later after the Witt Jr. single to left, Pasquantino, he crushed a bomb to center, a 3-run shot. That made it a 6-0 game. And yes, a bad pitch by Ben let a sweeper get out over the plate. Not a well-executed pitch, but still they get 4 runs on 4 hits in the air. So not great defense by the Dodgers tonight. And I think my end-all take on Teoscar is he's a star, he's an all-star, but they're treating him like a superstar. They need to give him the star treatment, not the superstar treatment. Shohei, Freddie, Mookie, those guys, they deserve the superstar treatment. If they want to plan right, they got to plan right. But Teoscar Hernandez should be in left field. And Andy Pages should be in right field. And Dave Roberts did say before the game today that Tommy Edman's ankle is feeling better to the point where he's going to be playing more center field. That'll give more opportunities for Haesung Kim at second. But I also think that could possibly open some things up, too, for the corner outfield spots, depending on the performance of Michael Conforto. So I'm planting my flag. Love me, Teo. Best smile in the bigs. He's the guy you want at the plate with the game on the line. But as far as defense goes, this team has multiple options that should be in right field over Teoscar Hernandez at the moment. But let's hear from Dave Roberts. He spoke to reporters just minutes ago from Kansas City, broke down Shohei Ohtani's start and this loss by the Dodgers.
Dave, in the context of a loss, was it encouraging to see the way Ohtani pitched and the way Freddie came out of his slump?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the context of the loss, getting Shohei through 2 innings, throwing the baseball the way he did, certainly a positive. And then you look at what Freddie did today, on base 5 times, stayed to the big part of the field, took some walks. So that was a big plus, big boost for us. Never feels good to lose a game, but I think those are a couple silver linings.
In the first 2 starts, you talked about how Shohei now?
I think so, and I think you can't take the competitor out of the player, right? There's a little bit of stress, and then that's when you started seeing the hundreds and trying to bully guys. And I still thought the sweeper was good, the sinker was good, but no one knows himself better than he does. And so again, today I thought he was still in control, and it was still good to see triple digits.
As expected, 102 to be there coming off the second, TJ?
I didn't know it was 102, so no, I didn't. I just saw 100, so 102, I didn't expect that. So now I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that he feels good coming out of today.
It was the fastest pitch of his career. Do you feel like that was due to the adrenaline in that moment?
I think there was some adrenaline. There was some knowing that you're only going to go 2 innings, knowing that you don't want to give up any runs. So I think all of that combined, I guess, brought us to 102.
Did you mention to Freddie that he might have a day off tomorrow, and did that trigger him?
I did mention it. I don't know if it triggered that. He looked really good today, back to being who he is, but he'll be down tomorrow. Yeah.
Anyway, even after.
Yeah. We're gonna stay the course. I think that I talked to him, and I think that having 2 days to still, even tonight, to be able to sit on a good night, watch a ball game like we talked about before the game, and then cheer on his teammates, be ready late if needed, and get to the off day and then be ready to get home.
How much of some of those fly balls that have dropped in both these games kind of contributed to some of the innings they've been able to build?
It's fair. I think that it's as a defender, we can't be everywhere. I think that
hi, the code is
if you look at our outfield
1947.
construction, we're not fleet of foot, and we knew that as we built the roster. And so there's going to be some cost.
Yeah, pound.
And so when balls have some hang time, but on the line or in the gap, and we can't, get to them, that's part of it. And so we got to make the plays that we're supposed to make, but, there's not a bunch of, sprinters on the outfield. That's just kind of how we're constructed.
There he goes, Dave Roberts. And as you mentioned, it was good to see Freddie Freeman have success, and he's going to be out of the lineup tomorrow. And it was asked if that triggered Freddie, and it may have. I don't think Freddie wants to have a entire week where he's just not having any production really for the most part. So I definitely think that sparked something in him. And look, it was the first game this season where he's reached base 5 times. Also, it was just such a long drought for Freddie Freeman. That solo home run that he hit in the 7th inning, that was his first bomb since May 11th. He snapped a 179 plate appearance streak where he did not hit a home run. That's a 41-game streak without a home run. He now has 10 on the season. It's also his first extra base hit with that double since that double on June 9th. So that's 71 plate appearances in 15 games on extra base hit. So it wasn't just the home run drought. It was also an extra base drought. He also had 2 singles and a walk before that home run. So he's now actually at 4,003 total bases in his career. He becomes the 91st player in big league history to get to 4,000 total bases. So give him a lot of love for that. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He arguably has the best moment in the history of the Dodgers of the World Series, hitting that walk-off grand slam, him and Kirk Gibson. So I'm very happy for Freddie. I'm excited to hear a happy Freddie after the game.
Freddie, we all know that you've been taking this, you don't like not getting hits. Today on base, every time you came up, how important is this for your psyche?
Yeah, it's very important. I've been grinding, obviously, this whole month, and to finally see some results after all the extra work and hard work that's been going into to my swing, it's definitely nice. So hopefully we can build off this. Unfortunately, this game is not a guaranteed game, but at least it's a step in the right direction.
Dave said that maybe it might be good for you to take a day off, but after today, do you feel like you convinced him that's out of the equation?
I don't know. We had a meeting before the game that I was having tomorrow off, but we'll see. I would assume I'd still stick to the plan and get a day and then have another day off, and then 2 days in a row could be good just for the overall body, and then head into the last couple weeks of the first half fresh.
In this stretch, it seemed like you already had 2 strikes on you. Today, you were ahead in all the counts. Was that important to the equation?
That's not what I was doing. I was just trying to get my foot down a lot sooner than I have been. I felt like my timing's been a little off, a little late getting started. So that was the only thing I was trying to do today, and some results happened. So if it's Tuesday, hopefully we can carry it over.
Thanks, Freddie.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
There he goes, Freddie Freeman. So definitely excited to see that. But all right, guys, it's going to be a shorter show. Actually, got to be somewhere. Got to be somewhere a little later. So definitely going to read some, though. So we got Jose Aguirre. Yeah, Kim started hot and kept it going, so that's not surprising. We have BL Boyd. None of the 3 balls that Teo let drop the last 2 days were going anywhere had he laid out for them. He's just slow and lazy. I want to call him lazy, but Roberts is for letting the vets fill out the lineup. Yeah, look, it's not that he's just not a great outfielder, right? He's someone that's known for his hitting. Bingo, D-Mac. What up, Razor A over on YouTube? Bacon Tree, you can hide 1 bad defender, not 2 in the outfield. That's a fantastic point, and that's where they would be. If Conforto hits and Teo is Teo, that means 2 of your 3 outfielders are going to be below average guys. And you look at plays down the line, some of the angles, making the throws, and it definitely, you basically just have to hit. You better hit to make, if you give up a run on defense, you better get that run back on offense, or it's not going to make sense in the grand scheme of how this offense performs, the defense performs, just the overall roster construction. BC Conforto's not even a better outfield option than regular season. Kike, Teo looks horrible out there from Lucy Chen. Do some more. Chris Kurtz, Teo, awful right fielder when we have a right fielder playing shortstop. Yeah, look, I mean, Mookie Betts has been playing above average shortstop. Yesterday, he did get that go-ahead single with Shohei at third to get the Dodgers on front. Today, Mookie goes 0 for 4 with his strikeout. And I think that one conversation they're going to have is, hey, if Mookie's hitting 352, on base of 330, slugging 385, does it make a lot of sense to have him as your number 2 hitter? Do you move Mookie Betts down the line? I know that sounds insane, but if things continued at this rate, that's certainly a question that people would have when it comes to optimizing a big league lineup. You want your best hitter hitting second or first or in that range, right? Mookie, we're deep into the season, past the midway point, and offensively, he's a 716 OPS guy. That's 109th in Major League Baseball. And we're not to July yet, so we're not going to press the panic button, and you hope that that is sort of the theme of this season, right? Muncy, low lows, turns it around, on fire, raking, is hitting at an all-star level. Andy Pages, send him to OKC, option that dude. Boom, could make an all-star team, the best homegrown position player since Will Smith. We've seen big turnarounds this season. You hope that Mookie's that. But after today, Mookie's now at a 103 weighted runs created plus. 100's league average. He's at a 103. So he is 3% above league average offensively. And there's no way to sugarcoat it. That's not good. But a couple more here, guys. Thanks for rocking with us here on this special afternoon edition of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Sasaki really sitting out till next season. No guarantee of that. We got Ninja Squirrel. Conforto must have embarrassing photos of Dave Roberts or the front office for him to still be on the team. Even Dalton out there would be an upgrade on defense with the bat. Look, I mean, it wasn't a good at-bat, but let's see. I mean, he's made some swing changes. I mean, Freddie talked about getting his foot down, that helping him. Conforto, lighter bat, open stance. Let's see how that works for him. Alex Renteria says move Teo down. BC says Mookie in ninth. Mookie is ninth on the team in OPS. Yeah, that is very concerning and something I never thought we would say for sure. Muad'Dib, D-Max Japanese Country Connection. Yeah, I got my Murakami flowers on this one. I got this from Tokyo. You know, it's a Saturday, a little casual day. I like it. Jose here, D-Mac is a hot date with a left field pavilion torta. Come on, bruh. You're killing me, man. Marcus Anthony, how you doing, my man? I agree with Roberts to sit all the good players and keep playing Conforto, Kike, and Rojas. That's the winning formula. Go, Dave. Marcus, I like sarcasm. It's a second language to me. BC Freeman is forcing Dave to keep starting Conforto. Kim Estrada, Kim and Rushing do legs together. I like that. It's a comment of the show from Roy Estrada. Kim and Rushing, yeah, Quadzilla. They do not skip leg day. As far as is Freeman forcing this on Roberts, I wouldn't say that, but I think that there is a plan to say we're going to do the full evaluation phase on Conforto, and then I think they're going to add a bat. I do. I think that they're going to add another bat at the deadline because they're all in. You can get another bat. If Conforto is that guy, then fine. If it's not, then you can live with the fact that you gave him opportunities to work his way out of that slump. So when you do ultimately trade for someone or give someone else an opportunity, you won't have any regrets. So I think that's the process that they're in right now. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post-game show. They lose today, but Shohei looked great. Freddie out of his slump. Some good positives. And then tomorrow, early game, 11 o'clock. Get ready to roll. But that's going to do it, guys. Appreciate you. Enjoy your Saturday. And if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. That's how you really support the show. You like it, you comment, and I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. And remember, follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And that nothing, absolutely nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.